Right, so now we are preparing to go meet Rob, right?
Yeah, Rob Rosen at Rosen Sound. And we're going to like the Mecca for synth refurbishing and just basically collecting the finest instruments, getting them all in optimum condition. And we're going to go in the studio and see his studio, like of his hand-picked instruments.
You know why I'm laughing? Because my audience has no idea what they are about to see. If you have your smelling salts, it's time now to pull them out.
Yeah, well, maybe you're going to pass out when you see a particular thing too.
All right.
Streets of Burbank. We just passed Disney, where there's a writer's strike going on.
Yeah.
The industry's changing a lot.
It's all about AI, isn't it?
It much is. Well, we're approaching Mecca.
The synthesizer Mecca, right?
It's a race room, and Rob has his shop right up front.
Hello, hi. Oh, wow.
Meet Dr. Mix.
Nice to meet you, Claudio.
How are you, man?
I'm good.
What's up, man?
Hi, Claudio, good to meet you. Hi, Rob. Don't feel pressure, no worries. How you doing?
I'm doing okay now. Waiting on my Starbucks. Let's see ya.
Oh, God.
We'll give you the whole tour in a minute.
Look at the, I mean, it's just a peek.
This is nothing.
This is nothing.
Yeah.
Wow. Where do we start?
Well, we want to spend today, going in the studio, and Rob's going to tell us about his personal collection there and what it means to him and how he cared so much to find all this great stuff and then make it all work. And he can tell you a little bit about the who, what, when, where, and why of Rosen Sound and all the great people that are here. I mean, it's like
There's a lot of great people here. And a lot of instruments.
It's really about you and the great people that are here, and then the instruments kind of find their way through all of you.
Yeah. Synthesizers.
Yeah.
Just a 2600, just hanging down there. Above it, it's just an Alka Syntax.
Okay, let's cut the cameras. I'll give you the tour.
Okay.
So Rob, can we see like the main room? You
Absolutely.
Want to see your private studio?
Please do. Let's get out of the warehouse and into the cabin vibes. It doesn't look like a cabin at all.
That's the name of the studio.
Your stuff. And welcome to our little slice of Synth Cabin.
Little.
So how would you describe this area? Let's start with the corner.
So this is kind of our like 60s and 70s corner, as we call it. This is where we have the electromechanical stuff in very old synthesizers like the SY1 and the Mini Korg. And of course the Selena on top of, classic electromechanical instruments, all restored by Ken Rich, of course.
And let's talk about the SY1 too, because it's a direct descendant of
The GX1. Yeah, the sub-modules inside are, direct replacements and the exact thing from the GX1. It is somewhat of a one-voice GX1, that's not totally accurate, but it does have the sound, and it has the great growly pet sound that people love. And
a little bit of an expressive keyboard too.
Yeah, it's got aftertouch as well, based on a light, which is really fun. Really fun little synth. Love the thing.
I love it too.
B3 underneath or C3? What is
A100.
A100?
Same thing as a B3 or a C3, just in the home cabinet with the reverb, which isn't even in it. And that's, of course, connected to the Leslie over there.
And they got the whammy bar.
Oh, that's right. Of course, yeah. The clavinet has the...
You know that I've never touched any whammy bar.
Until right now.
Until right now. This is the moment.
That's the moment. That's right. So, you can do that. Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Oh. And get a nice bend out of it. Are you sure you haven't touched one before?
No, I haven't. And
we'll get some audio.
Yeah, don't worry. Listen, I'll see you later.
Oh, you're taking it. So we got a whirly down here. Is that a 200 or a 200A?
It's a 200A. I got this from some of the Lenny Kravitz guys. And then I had Ken, of course, install the speed control and all of his
That's
fixings
Ken
to it.
Rich.
Of course, Ken Rich, who was my mentor in many ways. And of course, the 1973 Fender Rhodes. Can't go wrong.
Suitcase.
Classic suitcase with all the upgrades. And then the Selena, the mini Korg. I mean, what else could you need if you're trying to get those early 70s jams going, you know? And then now we have, the first part of the poly wall, though I think it technically starts on the other side, but we'll start from here. PPG Wave 2.2, the only thing in the studio that regularly has problems. Matrix 12, classic design. Yamaha DX7 2FD, I like the 2FD more than the original. It's got a quieter DAC, and you can do more with it. I like it better.
Interesting.
Korg Trident Mark 1, another classic. Elka Synthex, which I know you're a fan of based on when you walked in. This is one of my top favorite synths in here. Juno 60, because what's a studio without a Juno?
Yep. MIDI up or not?
Of course.
Of course.
Everything in here has MIDI. Prophet VS. You know, what's there to say about it? Classic wavetable vector synthesizer. OB8, this was one of the first synths I ever got, and I will never sell it. It's signed by Jimmy Jam. The only person I'd ever let sign something like that, I suppose.
I happened to be here when he signed it.
That's right. That was during
Really?
Synth Flex, as we call it. And then below, here's a Lamb memory Moog. So it's like a normal memory Moog, but upgraded a bit, I suppose, with full MIDI capabilities. And it's great. This is a fun story about this thing getting lost in the mail when I got it and everything, but I'm really happy that it eventually showed up, but it was gone in FedEx land for like 2 months. And that was many years ago.
Listen, let's talk about it. Wood and synths. Dude, like, you can't beat it. You can't beat the look of wood
No.
on synths.
And speaking of wood, the Prophet 5. Also one of the
There you
first
go.
things I ever got, given to me by a longtime client back when I worked in my garage, and he said, "You want a Prophet 5?" I said, "I really can't afford it." He says, "Just come get it. I don't use it."
What?
It was back before I could really afford anything anyway, so I had no qualms about taking it, but I'll never sell it.
Well, what's your favorite? Rev 1, 2, or 3?
I like the 3 the most.
You like the 3?
Yeah, I do like the earlier ones as well, but the classic is really the 3.
Right.
But I do have a Rev 1 number 14 signed by Dave Smith.
Number 14.
Number 14, I'll show you that later today. And I do have a couple Rev 2s as well, and they're great instruments, but nothing quite, this is the classic. But speaking of earlier the better, the OBX. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This is a great instrument.
Yeah.
This is kind of in this zone next to the desk. You kind of get the feeling that this is the stuff we reach for and want the closest to us for a reason.
Yeah.
That's why we have the Jupiter 8, the OBX, Prophet 5,
Yeah.
Memory Moog, this, and the Synthex as close as possible because they get the most use. This is an awesome instrument.
Yeah.
To say the least. And then, of course, the Jupiter 8.
Daddy. Obviously.
Moving on to the desk, a stereo set of 301 Space Echoes, Chorus Echoes.
Yeah.
Some newer 500 series things in front of that, or on top. Mutron biphase, can't go wrong. My underwater Synthi AKS, I call it that because it came from an electronics recycling plant, and I swear to God, it must have been under the ocean for a couple years before we got it.
Really?
And it's fully restored, and even though it looks a little ugly, it definitely works great. It's a wonderful Synthi.
Obviously, why wouldn't you not have those speakers?
ATCs?
Of course.
I often joke it's the most I've spent on anything without keys.
Yeah. These they go for like 10, 12 grand, right?
Yeah, Vintage King hooked me up pretty good with them, but yeah, they're
Okay.
definitely, we're not cheap, and especially with the sub. Mini Moog, another one of my ride or dies, have had that longer than I can remember at this point.
1970.
This is 1973, and this is the one I'd never get rid of. I have a few of these though.
Well, you have, that's the one, the special one with the different wheel, right?
It's an earlier one which has the cream wheels, though it's a slightly different shape of the cream wheels than they normally have. But it's just a great Mini Moog. They're all a little bit different, and this one's mine, and I love it.
Maybe I was thinking that you showed me one at your house that was a different logo on it.
Yeah, I have 4, so I have 2 that are like this, and then I have an RA Moog and a Musonics Moog, both with the very old discrete oscillator.
Musonics Moog, you said?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
It's just a different badge, but it's really just an RA Moog. They look a little bit different, and they're very unstable. You look at it and it goes out of tune.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously. Behind you
Speaking
is
of RA Moog.
my pride and joy, my 1973 Moog System 55. Very honored to own it. Yes, the top of it's a synthesizers.com, and it just adds some girth onto it.
This is so clever.
Yeah, everyone loves the clock. I got this off a gentleman named Casey Young. This was built supposedly with Bob Moog's involvement directly. It was, I guess, originally from Joe Sample and had something to do with Rory Kaplan and a bunch of other people. So it does have some provenance. But yeah, that's really, to me, my favorite thing in here.
Couple more.
Yeah, some
echoes.
Auxiliary tape
Yeah.
echoes. Yeah. Then next to that, 2 ARP 2600s, originals, of course, gray face or black face on top, gray face on the bottom. So we got the 2 different filter varieties, and of course, plenty of oscillators. It's still patched the way Anthony left it from the last time he was here.
Oh, yeah.
Next to that is the Chroma system. So it's a Rhodes Chroma expander with an enabler. In a few weeks, there will be an EMU modular here, which I'm really excited about. Yeah. Next to that is another Casey Young creation. This is
it. Can I hold you up?
This is the modular Oberheim 8 voice, built by Casey. He used this on stage of Gary Wright and on tons of soundtracks, including, I think, Rocky IV, whichever one had the training montage. This is part of the sound he used to do that.
Hold on a second.
This isn't even the only 8 voice in here.
But this is a one of a, as much as the 8 voices are rare, this is a one of a kind.
This is truly one of a kind. Yeah. Casey was kind of the king of layering, so he kind of built it more as
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yep.
These are matrices.
That's right. So you can patch it out, and then there's some other fun modules: MXR mini limiter, a Mutron Phase 2, and then a Surge shift register wave shaper right here.
And a couple sequencers.
Yeah, a couple sequencers, a working programmer, a digitune module to help keep things in tune. The only thing in here that does nothing is the polyphonic keyboard module. It does absolutely nothing. But this is meant to be interfaced with an EMU 4060 keyboard. So he used that to control this with the EMU modular and get huge sounds.
I bet.
Yeah, lots going on here, to say the least.
A true synthesist. I mean, he really wanted to take something that was already a great instrument that made an amazing sound, but even control it more, because he just was into the nuances. And as we've talked about, the nuances really get you that last 10% that make you stand out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a famous part of the return on investment that it makes the least sense in terms of economy, but in terms of excellence, it's just the way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But you know what? You're looking at a rare thing because there are really few synth artists.
That's right.
That are not just artists, singers, songwriters, or whatever, but they just really are artists with a synthesizer. And I would like maybe start with Paul Beaver, Wendy Carlos, Suzanne Ciani. I mean, I don't want to leave anybody out.
I know.
But the people that are really like the greats, it's like on both hands you can count them, and that's it. And I would put Casey there.
Absolutely.
And he built this.
Yeah, talking to Casey about what he would do with synthesizers is pretty mind-numbing. And that segues, of course, to
into
the actual Oberheim 8 voice, my other pride and joy. This is not an original 8 voice. I did build out the expansion. I was given the chassis with the mixer from a very dear client of mine, and then I got obsessed with figuring out how to find everything else, which is not just as easy as finding 4 more matching SCMs. But it's a wonderful system. Very lucky to have it. Very hard to keep in tune, but
well,
yeah,
nice. I was gonna ask it. So that's true then.
It's just a lot. 4 voices is a lot more manageable, but 8 voices is really
What is the module that divides the voices as you're playing?
That would be this one.
This one.
Yes.
Polyphonic keyboard. Okay, that's the one.
Yeah. So as you play notes, that by the way, that module was actually designed by Dave Rossum from EMU. Based on the technology from the 4060 keyboard I mentioned earlier. So that is a derivative of that and allows you to do all the fun things with no computer. It's all just CMOS.
It's CMOS. I was about to ask.
There's no computer in this. For all that it can do, there's no computer.
Right. But it should have like flip-flops and things
Tons,
like that.
Tons, absolutely. Oh, you're a smart guy. You looking for a job?
I know.
You'll end up working before you leave today.
We do need another doctor. Here's
and then
the CS80, of course.
Mommy, let's call it.
Yes. Me and my wife flew across the country to buy this. Got very lucky with it. It's a wonderful CS80. It's a very early one. I think it's number 47. Yeah, people love the preset panel.
You know what? Every time I see a CS80, this is what I think.
What?
I'm a chicken. I let one go for 16,000. I bought it.
Wow.
On eBay. It was mine.
Uh-huh.
At the last minute, I thought I can't spend £16,000. listen, do you mind if I back off? Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yikes.
That was 5 years ago.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure one will find its way to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Or hopefully less than that. I know. In pound,
not that I need to
US,
be any more spoiled than I already am. So.
I understand.
Oh.
The classic set, 909, 808, the Lindrum, the DMX. Most of this is all gone through by Bruce Forat, of course. We can do drum machines, but I trust Bruce.
When it comes to like drum machines, man.
It's Bruce.
Bruce, and he's great. His music is awesome. I've sat with him and listened to his tracks, and he's great at programming them, but he modifies them and he makes them all work great in the normal mode, and he's a master.
Truly a master, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself.
In any case, just so it's clear, well, I would be after one of these because I really would like to have one of these, but I am after one of these.
The DMX?
Yeah.
Nice. There's one here. We can talk about it later. My favorite thing about the DMX is that you have to open it to tune it. So you got to take off the front screws, risk your life by touching the wrong place just to
look at it so
move these guys right here.
What do you move?
These trim pots. That's how you tune them.
That's so difficult.
Yeah, it is pretty difficult.
And you can shock yourself in there?
Well, if you touch over here, you can get a nice death.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on
quick.
your death by tuning.
What did I of DMX?
That's how I want to be found when they find me. I want to just be like under the CS80 keyboard.
With your finger in something.
Yeah. Died as he lived.
I'll kick you off.
12,
isn't that what you have to do? When somebody's getting an electroshock?
You kick them off?
I'm going to kick you off because I don't want you to get
Depends on what kind of shock
out.
you're getting. You know, AC blasts you away, DC keeps you there.
Did you have a case of that here in the studio?
I get shocked here all the time. I'm repairing equipment. Yeah, you touch or look at something the wrong way. You get a little jolt.
Said with one eye blinking.
Wait, hey, I'll tell you this, it's better than coffee. There's also an Aries modular on the floor, a custom white MS-20, and an SH5 on the table we didn't even mention. It's a great looking MS-20. Let me show you, actually.
I haven't seen a white one ever.
Well, it's custom. And apparently it's got problems with the keys. That's why it's got tape on it. But I gave this to my silk screener with the file. It was all rusted out. A girl wanted to donate it to us, which I thought was crazy, so I paid her for it. But it was all destroyed, so I said, Joe, here you go. Use this color scheme, and this is what he gave me back, and I think it looks really cool. I think the reissue, they do have a white one, but it has white knobs, which is not as cool as the black knobs. So.
I think black knobs is a good choice.
It's a good looking one. And
this crazy sequencer, right?
Yeah, the Triad X Muse. That thing's really cool. It's like a random function generator almost. You can make like little sequences, or you can't really make them, but you can have it make them for you. So some people actually have come in here and had a whole sessions where they just get sequences off of that and then make music with it. It's pretty amazing. There's an Aries modular down here. Unfortunately, it's not up here right now. This was designed by Dennis Collins from ARP. Great sounding modular synth. And then a two voice. That's right. Overhum
there
two
you
voice.
Go.
Yeah.
My two favorite albums from Lyle Mace. The one that's called Lyle Mace, I believe, and then there is Street Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So he uses the four voice, I think.
Which is here.
You have Lyle's four voice.
Lyle willed his 8 voice to Tom Oberheim, and they've asked me to restore it for Tom, and it is here and actually works. Similarly, his chroma.
The one that he plays on the album.
Yes, that's here.
And
his chroma from the same era is actually Anthony's now, and
thanks to Rob
are fixing it up. I love Lyle Mace. I got to do a little bit of work for him before he passed. So silence is deafening.
Tell us, I want to know how you feel now in this room. Feelings.
Feelings? You can't beat Americans. That's my feeling. Look at this.
Colors don't run.
I know, maybe I've said this too many times already, but there is some dedication, and Anthony says that it's probably because of the competition that you guys get, that it's like it selects people automatically. The level of excellence, when I've seen a few synthesizer rooms, right? But this thing, you guys only can pull this off. You have like a real high sense of show business. You have no compromise. Working with you these days has taught me how much planning, how much love, dedication you put into everything, and this is a testament to that way of thinking.
I agree.
Well, thank you. That's great. And in terms of synthesizer rooms too, even of the excellent, I think this is the most excellent where we are right now.
That means a lot coming from you.
I think
you got a lot of stuff. Thank you.
I mean, Rob really is, he's like a brother to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
full disclosure, we are very good personal friends. He's like a family friend at this point.
It's all just come together, and I'm like, it's a soul. It's at a level of the soul. But when you find the people that you connect with their soul, and then it really adds to your life, it gives you meaning.
Thanks, Anthony.
You get, it's the most important thing. That's why I'm here holding a microphone.
Yeah.
You know?
Not just because you look pretty with it.
He does look very good. Yeah.
So when do we make music?
Well, I hope there's enough things in here to do that.
I'm not sure.
There you go. And then
and then they say that I have a lot of energy. Check this man.
Yeah! Welcome to Hollywood, baby. You can have it.
Yeah. Totally had the
You just take it home. Put it in the trunk.